historic Canoa Ranch of today sits on a portion of the San Ignacio de la Canoa land grant that was given to Tomas and Ignacio Ortiz by the new Republic of Mexico in 1821. After the Gadsden Purchase of 1854, the land became part of the United States. In 1876, the Ortiz family sold the 17,000-acre grant to Frederick Meisch and Thomas Driscoll, who began running cattle on the land. In 1910, the ranch was linked to Tucson by the railroad, and 2 years later, Levi Manning bought the Canoa land grant. Levi Manning was born in Mississippi and followed the railroad to Arizona, making Tucson his home in 1884. He became a successful businessman and the mayor of Tucson. After he bought the Canoa land grant, he and his son Howell developed it into one of the finest cattle ranches in the Southwest, eventually growing to 355,000 acres. Levi's son Howell assumed the daily operations of the ranch in 1922, and in 1949 moved his permanent home from the Paseo Redondo home in Tucson to the ranch. In the mid-1920s, Howell and his wife Margaret had two sons, Howell Jr. and Marklin. The boys grew up at the Paseo Redondo home in Tucson. In 1933, Howell Sr. married his second wife, Evelyn, better known as Jinx, and adopted a daughter, Claire. Howell Jr. attended college at the University of Arizona in Tucson and soon met a fellow student, Louise Deasy Lewis. He courted and married her in 1948. They moved to Canoa Ranch and began a busy ranch life and had two daughters, Anne and Leslie. From the standpoint of a working cattle ranch manager, the roundup was a crucial event. It allowed an inventory of the cattle and their health, as well as the calves that had birthed during the calving season. The cattle were branded and sorted, and some were shipped off to be sold. Branding allowed an accurate identification of wayward animals, and steers, bulls, and cows were separated and counted. This work required a lot of very hard effort and went on for days. Vaqueros and their families traveled across the border to help on the ranch and often put in many days of hard labor. The American Brahman was one of the first breed of beef cattle developed in the United States. It was bred in the early 1900s as a cross of several different Indian cattle breeds. Brahman cattle are known for their extreme tolerance to heat and are widespread in tropical regions. Both Howell Manning Sr. and Jr. felt that Brahman cattle were a smart addition to the stock of Canoa Ranch and did quite well with them. They're resistant to insects due to their thick skin and seemed well adapted to the climate of southern Arizona. On December 21, 1951, Howell Manning Jr., as well as members of the ranch Dave and Andrea Walden, were tragically killed by a drunk driver in a car accident. After Howell Jr.'s death, Howell Sr. began selling off parts of the ranch, and Claire Manning Schnaufer and her family took over ranch management. Howell Manning Sr. passed away in 1966, after which most of the ranch was sold. Canoa Ranch is preserved today as a Pima County park.